Welcome, traveler. You are now listening to Castle Black, the blackest House of Dragon podcast in all the realms.
Castle Black by For All Nerds is powered by our listeners. Everything we do, from our podcast, live events, website, and more, are independently funded. Please continue to support us through our Patreon page at patreon.com/forallnerds.
Castle Black. So this is the seat of the Night's Watch.
And welcome, Internet, to another episode of Castle Black, the blackest House of Dragon podcast in all the realms, powered by For All Nerds, where we discuss everything in the worlds of Game of Thrones from the perspective of people of color. And it is one of your hosts, Tatiana King, aka the Lord of Lightsabers. And this time we have the Ladies of the Dragon. Are we calling this the Daughters of the Dragon here a little bit? Getting a little Marvel-esque on us. Maybe I am joined again by partner in crime, Chica Supreme. Chica, introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. This is Chica, aka Chica Supreme, aka the Sea Steaks Loctician, aka Rip Krabby Patty. Okay, I got the funeral lights on. Rip Krabby Patty. Ooh.
All right, you got that homegoing service going. And returning triumphantly from episode 1 review, we have the Portia P. What's up, Portia?
Hey everyone, happy to be back here again. As you know, it's me, aka the Maester of Disguise, aka Lady Mary Jane of Highgarden.
Ooh!
And things are getting pretty high.
I got to do a little charade. I like that. Lady Mary Jane of Highgarden. That shit go hard. All right. So, welcome, y'all. We're here. We're back to discuss the most fire fucking episode thus far. Episode 3 of House of the Dragon, titled Second of His Name, directed by Greg Yaitanes, written by Gabe Fonseca, Ryan J. Condal, and George R.R. Martin. Did he really pull up to write some of this? Or is it just because it's based off of his writing? What is it about?
I would hope that he was on this episode because what is in the books doesn't get this detailed, literally doesn't get this dialogue detailed. So I'm hoping he did a little bit of something in here.
Okay, cool. And I'm glad you're back, Portia, because we were talking about last episode where we needed a book reader in to kind of fill in some of the blanks of the stuff that we don't know. So glad you're here to let us know what to decipher some of this ish going on. As usual, we're going to talk about the things we love, the things we hated, some Easter eggs, and some maybe additional detail that maybe would be useful in the future of this series. So let's go right into the things we loved. Portia, I'm going to start with you first. Give me one thing you loved about episode 3 of House of Dragon.
The first thing that stood out for me, and I know that this is the thing that was also interesting for you, was Rhaenyra, really literally being like, no one's here for me. For me, that was basically a reverse no one's here to see you Otis moment, where she was having a no one's here to see me, she was being in her thoughts about it, and y'all are having this big old party. Y'all say y'all want me to be part of it, but it's not a party for me. And everything that you're doing is showing that you don't really want me here. You just want my face to show out I actually enjoy this parade that's going on, when we all know that none of this is for my benefit. It's actually celebration of me, my downfall. So no one's here for me. No one's checking for me. My best friend, who's supposed to be my best friend, she's not my friend anymore. My father doesn't care what's happening to me. My mom is gone. So who's here for me? Her dragon's not even there. So F all of that.
Yo, facts. I forgot about her dragon. What about you, Chica? What was did you want to just comment on what Portia had to say about that?
I mean, it's I saw it too, because literally everybody is just in High Tower land, okay? Alicent, the Red Keep City girl, as soon as she became queen, she had her son, her firstborn is her son. They named him Aegon, okay? And now her people are plotting. They're like, oh, that throne finna be mine. So screw Rhaenyra. And I totally saw it. Like nobody was there for her. And Viserys is trying to have like, oh, this great family atmosphere.
Yeah.
But no, that's not how it is. No.
Viserys, I'm starting to see more how Damon feels. Viserys is an idiot. Like he just don't be thinking. Like he just he's too, what's the word I'm looking for? Like,
He's selfish.
well, he's selfish,
That's
but
not even
I
the
think
best characteristic for like describing him. He's like,
what, just being an idiot? Like no, it's just he just don't be thinking. Like it's just like, bro, are you seeing the maneuverings around you? And yes, he does, but to me, he don't act quick enough, right? He doesn't action, and that's a little bit of what Damon be saying about Viserys. Like, yo, you don't really be kinging like you supposed to be kinging. Like, granted, you ain't supposed to be going as hard as Damon, but it's just like certain things that needs to, like, you don't do what needs to be done, and you don't make the moves that need to happen. You are, oh god damn, what is the word I'm looking for? Like, like you just believe any fucking thing at this point and
he doesn't
gullible
have a
and
backbone, is what it is for
yeah.
me. And I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
for me, I think that is very clear that Viserys was not brought up to ever rule anything. Like he was literally like raised to be a cousin of the throne and not someone who's going to take power in the throne. And it's clear in every step that he makes. And I'm like, there's no way that he cannot see all this different ways that Hightower is maneuvering to be in power, and yet he consistently allows him because and he chose this man to be his hand. So like you're consistently allowing someone that you seem to have a level of trust in because you made him your hand and you continue to keep him on his hand. You could push him off if you got tired of him, but you allow him to be around because of so many different reasons. I feel a lot of that has to do with the kind of like gravitas behind House Hightower and their money. But I think another part of it is too that Hightower was always going to be the Lord of Hightower. He was always raised to be that way. Um, Viserys was never. So he doesn't have the same level of dealing with stuff that he knows that Hightower has, and he respects him for that. And he also feels kind of like insecure about his lack that Hightower currently has. So he just like lets him have it. And I'm like, you're the king. It kind of like reminded me of when Allison had her moment where she was trying to power grab from Rhaenyra. I'm like, this is literally how you choose to use your power is over your former best friend. Like this is what you do with you being queen. Like this is how you are a queen. I feel like the same thing happens with Viserys. I feel like he uses his kingship for like smaller, pettier things when he really should be using it for like the whole expanse of like what being on a throne means. But he
Looking at
refuses
the
to
bigger
do that.
picture. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's really what it is. Like, it's just an interesting way. Like Viserys knows because he says as much. He was like, "Oh, I know y'all only here for the crown. I know y'all only here to sabotage me essentially," but then he don't do nothing. Like he don't affect change the way he should. I just wanted to add, I'm with you on one of your likes. I have the same likes just about that no one's here for me line from Rhaenyra. I saw double, triple, quadruple meanings in that. Obviously, her just feeling alone, feeling in limbo, being both an heir to the throne, but while everyone else just assuming Aegon, her new brother, is gonna supplant her. And the fact that like she vocalizes it. She just feels at this point she's just used as a bargaining chip. She's a leftover, and it's just like, okay, well, what can I get from Renee? Or that's how she feels. Could you just get a fleet of ships from me? Because I'm the woman, and again, we're playing this patriarchy plot line. It's because because I'm of high station and I'm a woman. I could get some money off you. Like you got to be useful for something, right? And that feeling of just being like you're worth something but worthless at the same time is really powerful. So I did like that. Chica, what was one of your likes?
My likes, I think I don't know if we're gonna be sequential. I'ma try. So, cause like my likes was clearly at the end, y'all. But I'm not gonna go there. I'm gonna go for my other like, cause it's kind
Sure.
of in the middle, a little bit before the end.
Sure.
Anyway, so Allison, the Red Keep City girl. So she is queen, and what I like is that even though she did Rhaenyra dirty by marrying her dad, she still seems to be Team Rhaenyra. So when her father Otto tried to come up into her room while she's like heavily pregnant and talking to her about Aegon should be the prince and da 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 da, and she's like fibbing at first. Like I thought, anytime Otto comes, she just does whatever that man tells her to do. So I was waiting for her to go over to Viserys and just be like, yeah, you know what? Aegon, he should be king. Why not? And especially after Viserys told her about his dragon dream that his son is going to sit on the throne and have this crown or whatever. Like she could have pushed Aegon to be the king or to be the crown prince. But instead, she went over to Viserys and they're talking about Rhaenyra and they're talking about her marriage prospects. And as her former best friend, she's just like, okay, well, we might not talk, but I still know T. So if you tell her to marry somebody, she's not going to go with that.
Yeah,
Like,
she's telling the real deal. And I think
yeah.
that's the only reason why I stopped short of saying Alicent is just out for glory or out for power, right? I stopped short of
Hmm.
that because she keeps showing these glimpses of her humanity and in some ways morality. Like she is just what is she now? 18 now or 19 now? And
I think it's been 3 years. So
it's
yeah,
been 3 years.
18.
And if she was seven, or excuse me, how old? Oh, it's been longer than that. So wait,
Because Rhaenyra
Rhaenyra was 15 in the last episode, and
was
she's like,
15.
and Alicent was either 15 or 16, right? So they're basically about the same age. But point is, like, you would think so. And I remember I had said that, is she gonna go the Cersei Lannister route where she's just like hungry for power and questing over that, or is she going to keep some of her true self? And I still feel like her true self is still her the best friend is still there to some degree. Like, yes, she kind of still just does what her father tells her, but she stops short of just going all out. So I just can't quite say out, to me personally. I just, and maybe because I don't know any better, but I just can't say Alicent is there sitting there ready trying to seize power. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think
Portia
she's
don't Portia's like, you ain't ready.
like, we ain't ready, but listen, for now, she is like, you
For
know
now, I don't
what?
see it.
Rhaenyra, like, you gotta let her do what she wants to do. And then she sees the missive from Damon's team, not from Damon, of course, but from Vaemon is Corlys's brother. And he's asking for aid. And so she's just looking at it, and then she's looking at Viserys like, why aren't you doing anything? Mr. Man, Mr. King, why aren't you like, shouldn't we help? And
Yeah.
he's like, they weren't listening to me. They didn't get my approval. It's on them.
Yeah. It was weak.
And so, yeah, but
Yeah.
then the thing is, this is why Allison is in my likes, is because she was the voice of reason. She's like, okay, well, if they're losing, do you really want Krabby Patty to be coming over here with them
Yeah.
crabs?
Yeah,
Like,
she said she said let's focus in on things that matter. Forget the stuff that's more complicated. Like, what is the main focus? Is you trying to let Krabby Patty take over or not? Right? The answer is nah. So let's deal with that. And I appreciated that. Uh, Portia, what's your second like for this episode?
My second like for this episode was um also like towards like the middle end of the episode, when Rhaenyra is walking out with like, and I love how it's inconsequential because no matter what, this man is in a Kingsguard. She's never gonna have any real romantic relationship with this man, but they keep trying to tease like there's something that's gonna happen between the two of them. I don't know about that, but I do know that it's fun to see her like actually like she just said, "No one's here for me." And again, this man is not here for her. He's the Kingsguard. He's supposed to be guarding her father. However, he sees her leaving, and he's like, "I've got duty to the crown. I should look after the heir." He runs after her. Um,
Do you think
and
it's more than just it's my duty? I mean, at the end of the day, and he said as much. Rhaenyra's the one that chose him. She's the one that gave him the shot.
yeah, but like it's been 3 years. The closest that their relationship is him chasing her in the forest and having this conversation after 3 years of him being on Kingsguard. So they're not that close. They're just like he feels like he has like beholden to her, but I don't know that they actually have a relationship at this point in time. Maybe the next time jump we'll see something else, but for right now, they don't really know each other like that. Um, so I don't know what they're again. This man can't do it. So we'll see what happens there. But I do think that it was great that they're out going off into the woods, and um, I was just like, honestly, if I was her, I would. I don't know. how she made it through that whole trip without her dragon. At this point in the timeline, while Homegirl got pregnant, I would have been like, okay, I'm gonna go steal some coins from the treasury. I'm gonna call that my inheritance. I'm gonna take that with me on my dragon, and we're just gonna roam around the world
Wait.
until I run out of money.
Did you tell her to run away and be Arya
Run
Stark
away.
and run away?
Just bounce. Like, just,
Run
she
away,
has a
run.
dragon. She has an effing dragon.
Run
Just
away.
fly
So
away.
she's supposed to just get up and just, I mean,
Just
I
jet
noticed how she feels,
Mhm.
Portia, but like, is she just supposed to get up and just shirk her duties as princess? I mean,
What
that's the
duties does
battle.
she have?
That's the internal battle within her. You're just saying, oh, you got a dragon, bitch, just do what the fuck you want.
Yes. No one is. They are not. She's not allowed to do anything. Her being cupbearer was dumb. Nobody was actually paying her any attention. No one was actually allowing her to use any powers as the named heir before her father was even married. Now they're trying to get rid of her in that position. At that point, F the freaking throne. You're not trying to give it to me anyway. I'm a leave.
Well, that also ignores, though, the fact that at the end of the day, regardless of all of the strife that she feels, she still loves her father. And right now, she's the only one really protecting him.
And it's ridiculous because it's like I'm protecting a man who won't even talk to me to help me, like for me to learn to do what I need to do for my life. Like he's over trying to prescribe what my next step should be based on what his other men that he talks to tell him to do when he knows I don't F with them either. So what's actually coming out of this, and why am I being the better determinant of like the future than the adults in a situation? Like she's
Right.
not even fully whatever.
Right.
She's
Portia
of legal age for them to like try to pedophile her into marriage, but sure, great, fine, whatever.
Portia is the patron saint of runaway children.
Yes.
So.
Please do. Like, especially if you have a dragon, please hop on a dragon. But for me, honestly, the whole point of my diatribe here is that like when she was in the forest and she was in danger, and that the boar like bore both of them down. She was stunned at first, but then as soon as she was like, heck no, I'm a bad bitch, and she just pulled her knife out. She started stabbing that boar apart, and she walks back into camp, and you see her with her blood badge of like all that, and all the men who were like over her skin and animals were like smiling, like, yeah, that's what you do during a hunt.
They respect her.
Yeah. Meanwhile, her father had the men just like have the horn tell him to come find them that were roping the freaking stag in between trees.
Mance couldn't even kill the stag right.
Mance was freaking toddling around half drunk the day after freaking being drunk all night. So like he was not prepared, and he just looks like these 3 years have really hit him. Like the 3 years without his former wife have really like left this man like in a place of like not looking great health wise.
Viserys gives me vulnerable vibes. Like he says he's most vulnerable right now, physically, mentally, emotionally. Like this man, anything could happen to this man, and it would be like, yep, of course. Like you set yourself up for it.
I honestly spent this whole entire episode just waiting for this man to die. I'm like, this man's gonna die. If this man does not die by this episode, I don't know what's going on. He has to die soon because he's not looking like he's gonna make it.
Exactly. I saw like last episode, I've been ready for Viserys to die with his pus back and black finger. If he still got that finger now.
I'm like, is that finger? Yes, I was waiting for them to pan down to his finger. I'm like, are we gonna see his back or his finger again? Because
like
he don't look right.
Right?
He
I'm
don't
like,
look right.
His little ticket stub, or well, not ticket stub, but you know, his stub of his hand. I was ready. I'm like, oh, he finna die. I had the funeral lights, like, you know, prepared. But no, it was just Krabby Patty and Pumbaa that died.
Pumbaa, oh God, not Pumbaa.
The boy
wouldn't run down the trees. He wouldn't do that. That's not.
You gotta relax, Chica. Actually, don't relax, but you gotta relax.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Just
that scene was, you know, it served a lot of purposes. Like literally the whole episode up to that point, you just kept hearing the chat from Rhaenyra herself and just how the way people move, just about how she has no power or authority, or she feels like she doesn't, as she tells the fucking Backstreet Boy that's her bodyguard, that she
Christian
has to have
Combs.
it. Yeah, Christian Combs. That he doesn't Christian Combs. That she doesn't have teeth. So to be able to then be in a situation, and not even able, but kind of forced into the situation where it's just like, you have to have teeth because you're gonna die. This boar, even though it got struck, it can still get you at this point. And for her to just jump into her power like that. I mean, it was out of necessity, but you saw as many times as she stabbed Pumbaa, as we're calling it, that it was more than just trying to save herself. This was the release of all those emotions. This was the release
Yeah.
of all her frustration and everything she had been feeling up until this point. Like, no, fuck this. I'm taking my power back. This is what it is. And then for her, girl didn't even wipe off the damn blood. She running around with it in her hair. I just thought
It's
that
a
was
decoration at this
badass.
point. It's a
Yeah,
decoration.
it's a decoration. It was a
And
badge of honor. I thought it was badass.
I felt like her stabs were basically like all my life I had to fight on the board.
Yeah.
She was just like,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We got to. I know Chica and I have the same like here, but we can talk about it right now. Daemon motherfucking Targaryen. Okay, my nigga. Now, everyone look at me and say, bitch, didn't you say you disliked him last episode? I did. But I like him again this time. I told y'all, when it comes to Daemon, I'm on both sides with him. Sometimes I fuck with him. Sometimes I'm just like, nah, bro, you need to go sit down. But this episode, that's my nigga, okay?
Yeah. Oh, that nigga crazy. He's like, I'm finna kill all these hoes. Like,
Say
the
it with me.
flashing.
Say it one more time with me, Chica, at the same time. 1, 2, 3. That
nigga
nigga's
crazy.
crazy.
Oh my God. He said, I was like, whoo, y'all, I cannot, like,
But
listen.
he was crazy for the right reasons.
the
For
way
the
that y'all
right
say
reasons.
it makes me feel like you're about to sing like Salt and Pepper, like, ooh boy, you so crazy. I
Oh.
think I want to have your baby.
I think I'm gonna have your, well, not for me. Not for me. Listen, I mean, episode 1, that was enough. I don't know about bed, but in battle, okay, that's my G.
That's
my
G.
G
Yeah.
right
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
He
yeah.
said, I'm finna go and screw all y'all bitches up.
Right.
Like, oh, I'm waving the white flag. And if, a funeral lights people that died, because he's just started cutting them up, just like, oh, I'm getting in your leg, in your neck, in your stomach, like.
That's funny.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Damon delivered clearly, at least for me, the best scene, the best sequence in this episode. He gave me what I needed, what I came here to see, which was the drama and the violence. And he delivered. Like, I appreciated his attitude. He had several different types of attitudes. He had a fuck Viserys attitude. That whole thing from Viserys was too little, too late. And even Viserys said himself that he knows his brother would rather die than ask for help. So he knew when that raven came and it was Don Corleone's son instead of him asking for help. Like, he knew that he was like, all right, Viserys, I mean, Damon's not gonna really ask me for help, but I'm gonna send him. What did he say? 2,000 troops and like 10 ships.
He's like, yeah, like
First of
2,000
all,
troops, 10 ships, something, I hope you survive or whatever.
Now, first of all, some people be like, okay, that was something. But I'm like, nah, that's not generous, because first of all, didn't at the beginning of the episode, King Viserys said this has been going on for years. The fight
For
in the
years.
Stepstone. So if this has been going on for years and the king has not helped for years, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, well, I don't want to see you die. Here's some men and some ships. It's like, nigga, are you fucking kidding me? I already died 10 times over. I don't need this shit. He didn't need that shit for that reason. He felt like he didn't need that shit for just, again, he would rather die on his lonesome than accept this type of help. And also, it's like, you my brother, and this is what you give me. This is it at this time. Fuck that. I'm doing it live. I'm doing it itself. And his general fuck everything attitude, right? Sometimes it works against him. Sometimes it helps. Say that, Portia. What you got?
Can I ask y'all how y'all feel about that messenger getting bopped with his own helmet? Like, what that was?
I said that he didn't have to go in on the, like, when they say don't shoot the messenger, he did not have to go in on the messenger like that. Like, he's just delivering the word. Like, leave me. That was just rude.
Nuck, if you buck. He was like, oh, I'm finna get this messenger. I thought that he was going to use the messenger, right? I was like, ooh, Laenor had that idea. Like, who's going to sacrifice himself? Damon's like, man, fuck my brother. This messenger be bait and everything. So I'm like, ooh, that's his plan. But no, he was just mad.
Chica hype.
I'm sorry, y'all.
I just didn't expect, again, when I said on the last episode, Daemon is the type where you don't know how he's going to react to any fucking thing. You can say, bro, you just won the Powerball 1 billion and he could slap the shit out of you. You'd be like, but for what? Right? Like, it's just like, that's something good. And, he didn't even say nothing to the other people. So I don't even know if the rest of the crew even found out that the king was going to help and how they would have felt about that. Maybe it wouldn't have mattered, but I just felt like he was like, nah, fuck this. I ain't even dealing with it.
Right. And I think especially since he started beating that messenger's ass and everything, well, ready to kill him, they probably thought, oh, the king said, I ain't finna help you. You a bitch. Go die with the crabs.
That's what I'm thinking of, like the 50 Cent meme. Like, well, what does it fuck me for? Like, that's what I'm like. What did they think about? Like, with that reaction, it's like, and that's the thing. You don't know what's going on through Damon's head because his reactions don't fucking match what's happening or what's occurring, and it's just like, is this good or bad? So it is what it is. But that being said, Damon Cray, but it served its purpose for being Cray. That battle scene was fucking amazing. The whole false surrender plan, that was amazing. Like, first of all, like, yes, the son, Corliss's son, said as much that this is just a plan of how we're gonna draw them out. But to see that in action was something else. Like, and you knew, just even the way, Damon's shifty. You knew he wasn't really surrendering and doing all that shit, holding up Dark Sister is the name of his sword. Yeah. That shit went hard. And he just waited till they were close enough and then went in. He fucking one man the whole thing. He fucking did a speed run. Like, that shit was on some other shit.
I don't want to go in on the man's. He's not even there. But he was way more believable than Jon Snow when the big crowd came up.
Oh, yeah.
Way more believable.
He was way more believable. Matt Smith, you did that. Like,
he did it
way more believable.
I was thinking about it because I was just like, ooh, you remember Battle of the Bastards and everything, and then Jon Snow, he whipped out that sword like he gonna do something with these people on horses, and then his team came out at the back, and I was like, oh, ain't no weak shit here, man. I'm finna one man all this shit. And I'm like, dang, these niggas ain't coming. Where's the dragon? Like, what's going on?
Right.
I thought he was finna die. I'm like, oh my gosh,
right.
Shit, like, how's the dragon even gonna know, like, where to shoot? Like, is it like
I was like, is there a whistle? Is there like, how do you gonna say it?
I had thought Damon's dragon was like gonna peek over the mountain and do some shit, but but like he purposely kept him away, and I keep forgetting they got there's more than one platinum blind Unleash the Dragon people there, so there's got to be more than one dragon.
But that's what Krabby Patty was looking for too. He kept looking up like, where the dragon at?
Patty was
where the dragon at?
Krabby Patty knew that dragon was coming down on his motherfucking head, and I was looking up too, like, well, damn, like I'm sitting there watching on the laptop, and I'm looking up in my house, like, well, is it coming or not?
Where's this nigga gonna come? Shit, he finna die. I was like dying, like he pulling the stuff out of him and everything. I'm like, these bitches ain't coming fast enough. He's gonna die. Like,
I'm like, your dragon's teleporting now. What's happening? What is
I think that's what made this scene go so well, because when you couple the fact that you don't know what's happening when it comes to Damon's mind, and you really didn't know what was happening with his battle. Like, you knew what was not gonna happen. That man was not fitting to really surrender, but you didn't know that their plan was going to actually be executed that fucking flawlessly when you think about it.
Yes, and then the thing about it for me, because I feel like if Laner wasn't so like Team Damon would have never let him get on his dragon and stuff. But he was like, oh, nah, because I ain't gonna let my bitch-ass brother come over with his weak-ass ships and stuff. And then he was like, I'm finna run this shit. So if it's gotta be me, it's gonna be me. And then Lena came out, and he's like, Dracarys, started roasting
he
those
was just yelling
bitches.
And that's the other thing that gets me, that sends me, because they just be yelling Dracarys indiscriminately. And it's just like, I feel like they don't point, like, the fucking dragon is just this blowtorch is going in, and I feel like it's not precise. It's just like, if you in the way, you in the motherfucking way. You saw what happened in the opening scene.
Right. Oh my gosh, that guy, he was like, ooh, with his Jesus cross hands. Like, ooh, yes, my king.
Once again, I'm saying about Damon, where I'm like, I fuck with him. I'm also just like, bro, what the fuck? Because he cares and he don't be caring at the same time. Like, that one nigga was like, Damon coming to save me, my prince. Nah, nigga, prince. He don't even see your ass.
But that's the whole point. Like, all this nobility crap is happening, and all the common folk are like just getting sidestepped by all nobility. It doesn't matter if it's a dragon who's messing up their village, or just someone who doesn't know how to run their money right, like who is in the land, who's a noble of the land. Like, that's just how life goes for them. So it really is just an allegory for all the things.
Or is it an
I
allegory
honestly,
for Marvel too in the Avengers? You notice when there's big fucking battles, no one thinks about the collateral
nobody
damage of
talks
the
about
people
those. Like,
around.
whose car insurance did you just mess up? What did you just do? They don't care. But like for the drag, when it comes to dragons of precision, honestly, if I had a dragon, if you're messing with me, precision is no longer a freaking
You're not
issue. Like
even caring
I
about that.
do not care. I have a dragon. It's a dragon. You're gonna die. Everyone's dying in vicinity. Sorry. Bye.
They getting grilled like hot dogs.
Yeah. And I didn't realize that. Thank you for mentioning, Chica, that Laner was writing. I don't remember the name of his dragon. I don't
Is
remember
it
half these names.
Veraxes?
No, yeah, I
It
think
started
it
with a
is
V.
because yeah, it is because Syrax is the other dragon. Rhaenyra's dragon is Syrax.
Let me do my Google.
And
I
who's
think it
the?
is.
So I also wanted to talk real quick about Corlys and his brother, and the rest of the blacks that decided to show up. Like what? Who's this nigga's name? Who the one I was almost fucking shit up and causing mutiny?
Okay, so I don't offhand know the brother's
Caraxes.
name.
Sorry, y'all. Sorry.
Oh,
It's
correct.
Yeah.
Caraxes.
I don't offhand know his brother's name. I don't even remember if he's really mentioned in a book like that. But I do know that I don't know that he had a big cause behind him. Like, yes, there were other grumbles in a camp as he was talking, but I don't know if that was sufficient enough for that to be a problem as like a mutiny kind of thing. Because I feel like when the forces went out, it was basically Sea Snake and Damon's forces that were first there. And I'm sure the brother has joined over time and whoever else they brought on. So I don't know that man, like, he was grumbling loud. But I don't know how much of a freaking like backing that he had from the rest of the
Old man
people
yelled
there.
at Cloud.
Basically. I mean, let's be fair, like you've mentioned, nobody knows how Damon thinks. So maybe people are tired of him. Maybe it's been 3 years. So maybe they've been like, you know what? I don't know, man. We gotta cut somebody loose, and this man's a loose cannon, so maybe he's right. I don't know.
Nah, because like the thing about it is that the soldiers were thinking it, but they weren't gonna say it. And then Damon was like, "Oh, I'm finna talk my shit." Da 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 da. And Corlys, you see, he has the good dreads. He has the good dread wig, and so he's like, "I got some sense. Okay, this wig glue, this got to be
Wig glue
is working on him." And he said, okay, listen, Damon's coming right now, okay? My Negro senses is tingling. You need to be quiet. Like, you cannot mutiny right here because he gonna start killing us all. Like, it's not gonna work, especially the dragon rider. Like,
like, you don't understand. This man does not discriminate when his dragon loses fire. Everybody's out.
He does not care. Like,
and that's what I'm saying. It's just, I understand you don't care. You're just trying to get shit done. But the precision, like, you don't want to, like, that's friendly fire too. What if you burning up your own niggas? Like, damn.
Okay, but to be fair, in the opening scene, everybody was dead. Like, the guy who was laying there, like, the only way he was going to get anywhere was if someone carried him out. Do you think Daemon Targaryen is carrying any random soldier off the field?
Absolutely
no.
No, he became a patty too.
All right, so with that, let's talk about the things we disliked about this episode. Portia, please give me your first dislike about episode 3.
I mean, I'm going to try to keep it concise, but this is an overall thing that you're going to hear from me every single episode of the series. I will just pull it out in different ways. The patriarchy is what I dislike. I hate it. I don't think there's any justification for us to continue to have to see it. I understand it's what's in the series. I feel like it could be changed up. So it's not a thing that is governing the series without any critique and actual pushback and making it a better story. It's getting on my nerves.
That's what I said too. I forgot you even felt that way. I said it without even realizing you said it. Yep.
So all the noble families of Westeros can go drop themselves on a dish. Like, I don't care. Follow off of Casterly Rock. Have a good day. Suck your mother. Just do what you need to do, because I like from the old decrepit man. I think he's on the council. I can't remember what his name is because he's irrelevant, and that's what bothers me the most. Is that you are irrelevant men trying to make a name for yourselves by governing and telling someone how they should run the country, and the only way you can feel good about that is in knowing that you're not allowing a class of people to have any way of getting onto that power.
Yeah.
So women cannot. You already are noble, so you know that commoners can only attain a level of power, but that's not enough for you. No, you also want to subjugate women, including women of your own family, to your detriment, as we see with House Targaryen.
Yeah.
Because the only reason why Viserys is on the throne is because y'all decided patriarchy won over someone who knew how to govern freaking governments, because there she's a woman. And the fact that Rhaenys was taught, like, her parents were the most respected Targaryens in all the history of Westeros. They're the ones who had the most respected. Like, her mother did stuff on her own as queen that was well respected, that was actually using of her power well. Her father is the one that everyone talks about very highly. And so if anybody was well positioned to make sure Westeros was like prosperous and doing well after their parents died, it would have been Rhaenys. But no, we want a man who's never had to have power over anything his whole life because he's a man, and that was what makes him more suitable. And then we keep seeing it being a problem. Like, he has kids, the sons die off, there's only a girl left, and here we go repeating the same pattern again because y'all would rather put a 2-year-old boy on the line for capturing the throne with his father looking he's about to die any second now.
Or
because y'all want to govern.
recommend marrying him off to his half sister.
Because who will be a full-blown woman in a couple of years, and y'all are gonna have this little boy betrothed to her, and she's who knows. Anyway,
it's a mess.
But all of it is to not only the detriment of the women in the lives, but also to the people. Like, there's all this turmoil and like mismanagement of things because y'all are too busy trying to make one thing, like a square peg, fit into a round hole, and it's not working. And instead of seeing that it doesn't work, you just keep doing it.
And there's a lot of inbreeding and incest too. So I'm just like, that could be fucking with their brains as well. So I don't think no one's thinking about that part.
But like, the morality of it, I was already thrown off because, again, y'all have so much. Like, when I was rereading Fire and Blood, I really kept falling into how much pedophilia there is in this. I'm like, these are grown effing men trying to justify someone marrying a 15-year-old girl. Yeah. And then, like, a 12-year-old girl just last episode.
Yeah, it's a mess. And the only point I want to make about the families was that Lannister boy is a fucking clout chaser. And he was pissing me off with trying to present that damn spear. Like, you want to use this? Please use the Lannisters, the Lannister golden spear to kill the stag. Like, I'm just like, bruh, he don't give a fuck about your shit. Stop it. Like, he just wants that fucking attention so goddamn bad.
I love how much it's a dumb rivalry between the Hightowers and the Lannisters because they keep trying to say they're the richest ones. Like, oh no, I'm the richest family. No, we're the richest family. It's like,
just family. It's the Black family. Next.
Whatever. Chica, what is your disliked thing for this episode? The thing you didn't like?
So I did not like that Rhaenyra did not kill the White Heart Stag.
Oh, why was that?
I didn't like it because all them bitches up at that camp, the way that I saw it personally, okay? The way I saw it, they were all looking at her and they were looking at that boar, and she's all bloody with this boar. But it's a boar. It's not the stag that they helped Viserys like kill and get. It's not as big as that. And so for me, because she has to fight for everything because she's a woman and she has to fight to get that respect, and she sees the stag, so she knows that her daddy don't have it. It's like, oh, if you got the stag, right? Because this merciful shit, ain't nobody got time for that. If she killed the stag and she brought it back to camp, all of them will have to shut up. Because all these people like, oh, it's got to be her brother, and oh, it looks like this and that, the third, whatever, da-da-da-da. But she would have showed she has the power, okay? And it's like, yeah, on her own, she could kill Pumbaa. But that stag, everything would have shut everybody up. So I wish she had done it. I really do. Because, like, letting it go, unless all the other people at camp saw the stag, saw her see it,
then it doesn't matter.
So the stag basically chose her, right? then it don't.
Yeah, I mean, I see your point. At the same time, like what the stag symbolizes a lot of different things. I don't know if either of you can talk about what it symbolized besides I guess just the stature of it being the only white one in the woods and the biggest and all that other shit. But what does it really symbolize? Like, did you have something about that, Portia?
No, I just had a thought about her freedom and how it signified for a lot of things, like how much of her time she's been spending on being beholden on what other people say she should be doing, right? And like she should do this, she should do that. They started the episode with this hunt for this white stag because they said it would be a good omen for her brother's name day or whatever, right? And I see her letting the stag go being a symbol of her being like, I'm not doing what these people say needs to be done. I don't want to capture this thing and put it into the same kind of like prison that I'm in, like being kept like devoured and for these people's entertainment and for these people's like whatever. I think that I have the value knowing that I could have done what I wanted to with this stag, but I chose not to. And that's how I have power. That's how I may have my freedom in this moment, have my freedom to choose things. And I'd rather this stag be free. And maybe it's a symbol for her, like, oh, it's a hope. Like she can one day be run free too. Outside of these people's like imagination. Also, she's a white-haired rare thing, right? She's a Targaryen princess. How many Targaryen princesses are there running around except for Rhaenys, right? So I feel like that's also a thing.
Melena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. I mean, her giving it free, like I get it, but at the same time, I feel like
she just like grasp the power. It's in front of you.
They're not. Right. They would not have given her anything for that. Like that's not going to make them be like, oh, like this actually makes her solidified as the princess. This is exactly the prophecy that we needed was her killing. Like that was they wouldn't have done that because they're so freaking into patriarchy. They would not have said. There would have been a fluke. Oh, she got lucky.
But the thing is that those people could be saying it, but even if they didn't give her that respect, her daddy would have because he been like, oh well, I chose her. Is that the right decision? That's what he said like the night before, and then she had brought it. It's like, I guess it was the right decision.
That's important from the gods that was the right choice. Potentially.
Like, yeah.
I see both of y'all points, and then they're very, very good points. One of the things I disliked, and it's kind of funny too, but I just like, why is all the black people doing all the work? Once again, it is the black man that decides, hey man, we got to take care of the Krabby Patty person because this is fucking up the shipping lanes. This could fuck up my whole enterprise. And once again, as the whites are just like whites being Viserys and friends, it's just like it's not on the shores of Castle of not Castle Rock. It's not on the shores of my kingdoms, King's Landing. Thank you. So it doesn't bother me, right? Like, and it's kind of how it always is, right? It's like, well, it's not in my neighborhood, so why do I care, right? And that's the energy that I got from how. And besides the council telling him, oh, you don't want to start a war, it's also just like, but Corlys been telling you this about this, bro, and is like real serious about it enough where he's got your brother in on trying to take out this crab feeder. So, and then for them to still be fighting after 3 years in a losing war, and they're still going hard because this was what matters. Once again, black people getting bloody, doing the work to keep shit open while everybody else is at home drinking plum wine and Casamigos.
Man,
getting fat and drunk. This man was getting fat and drunk. Meanwhile, these people's out here in the field with blood and dirt and Old Bay on them. Like, what the fuck?
Just dying. Okay, I'm so glad Damon got Krabby Patty's entrails just dragging up into the water and on the ground and everything.
That went hard.
That was crazy. I was crazy. You know what? To be honest,
is Damon an ally?
Talking about blood splatter on people's faces and into their
Damon an ally. He was only white
body.
presenting Larry Targaryen there. So
no, like I think like I'm kind of surprised that Miguel Sapochnik didn't do this because he likes to do the gritty battle scenes. Like that's more of his gig. But yeah, Viserys is a bitch. Actually, that's what I had.
I love the pause and the breathe and the breath, and she goes, "Yeah, Viserys a bitch." So you bitch made nigga.
He's a bitch. That's actually my other dislike, low key. Well, I think, besides the fact that he is a bitch, is that it took your wife being like, "Are you serious, ho? Like, you should send people to actually send people." And the thing is, and his messenger got beat the fuck up because Damon's just like, I could have died all of this fucking time. Now, if he did it after a year, maybe Damon would have went ham on that messenger. But it's been 3 years, and now you're sending this shit over, and you've been letting Otto Hightower talk all up in your fucking ear and do all this bullshit. Damon is coming for blood. Like, he does not care about blood no more. He wants to have that throne. So Viserys actually created his worst fears by allowing Otto to manage his relationship with Daemon, because Daemon's not gonna stand for that shit. And I think it's like I said, it's stupid that he needed Alicent to say something. And also, I think it's stupid that Alicent had to even reinforce his idea of Rhaenyra being queen, because in front of that, when he was drunk in front of that fire, she really could have pushed it to be like, well, if that was your dream,
right,
and my son is here,
that was her opportunity. And that's why I feel like she's not quite there on that level of like just being power hungry. So I just love Portia's face every time I say it, because Portia's like,
she's doing the lips, guys.
You're gonna be upset soon.
She pursed them in that way. I know Alicent's gonna turn it into a bitch or something. I know it.
We know it. We know it.
Face, but
we know it.
She could have pushed him to make her son be heir at that moment, and she didn't.
Yeah.
And it's because Alicent didn't say anything that he was like, oh yeah, nobody's gonna supplant you, and
you let it go. Portia, what's your second dislike for this episode?
Let's go back to the Battle of the Bastards. We get on that field. The first thing we see on that field is Rickon Stark is alive. Rickon Stark, little baby Rickon Stark, is alive. And Ramsay Bolton has this little boy.
I remember.
And
we know that Ramsay is full of it and is always down to torture us. So we as viewers know that whatever is about to happen, it's not going to be a happy reunion between Jon Snow and his youngest Stark brother. We just know it. But we also can't help but to hope maybe this will work out. Maybe just a little bit of luck will come in for the Stark family. But as soon as that little boy starts moving,
oh God,
he neither digs
fucking
nor
line.
zags.
Jack Rabbit.
He neither digs nor zags. So when I can't help but to think, when confronted with the situation once again in the same franchise, with a man whose movements are sporadic and not even like predictable.
Yeah.
This man he's experienced battle. He knows what he needs to do. And he also is sporadic and it cannot be predicted. Surely this man will zig and zag. But did Daemon Targaryen zig and zag when the moment called for it?
He ran in a straight fucking line, straighter than a ruler, and just did not deviate off that path. And I was just sitting there like, damn, the plot armor is thick, because there's too many goddamn arrows for him not to get fucking got. And then of course he did, non-lethal,
conveniently,
how convenient in the shoulder, right? So you're not gonna die from that shit, hopefully not. But it's just like, bruh, like let's get some real tactics in place. It was just funny to me the way he just got through that field. Like, yes, he was already OP, just going in on like 50 men on his own, but then also to be able to dodge all them goddamn arrows. I'm like, all right.
Right. And I was ready. I'm like, oh shit, man, not my man. I was ready to yell.
You was ready for him to go down?
I was ready to be like, Rickon! Like, he's gonna die. He's gone. But Thankfully, I mean, I guess I'm glad he has plot armor because shit, it would be boring if Damon died. Like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
I mean, we might see that happen, unfortunately, and that's what I mean. George loves to do that to our faves, and so we might see that happen.
I want
I
Viserys
want
to
y'all
go
to
first.
think about the fact that what we're getting in this show for Daemon Targaryen is setting you up to not let Daemon Targaryen to be your fave. So I don't know.
Well, he's
that
never tomorrow. He's gonna piss me off again. We already know now. I'm gonna be like, kill
Right.
that nigga. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
But
Flip-flopping.
he's entertaining.
Yes.
Right.
yes.
I mean, I like him. I don't like him in bed. I don't like him when he talks to people, but I do like him in battle. So, I mean.
And that's yes. And yes. So I don't know what the plot. I just
Plot
the
armor's
zigging and
thick.
zagging. I really was just like, because I
I'm with
know
you.
that the creators and writers have seen the tweets, and I know they know.
I mean,
like,
that's just common sense.
the
Use your
audience
common
knows.
sense.
And I'm like, this is a battle. He's a warrior. Like, we like him because he knows how to fight. Like, yes, he did dodge a couple of things and like jump over a couple of things, but sir.
Yeah, I get it.
Right, and he's crazy. Like you mean you crazy? You can't go left and right. Like they used to go left and
movement, sir.
Right,
Yes.
like I'm gonna go over here. No, I'm going over here.
The last thing I disliked was less of a story related or character related thing. It's more of a production technical issue, and that's me personally not being able to understand what the fuck some of these people are saying. Some of these accents don't make sense. Like Damon's girl, whatever she is to him, and like that just didn't make no sense. So I really couldn't understand her. But then also people who are just trying to do that old ye English type accent where I'm just like, wait, what did you say? And because and for people who don't know, we're seeing these episodes early before everybody else, so we don't even have the option of closed caption. So I don't know half the time what's up or what's down, and I just be like pausing it and replaying it, like, huh? Excuse me. Will that be fixed in the cut that everyone else sees? Probably, maybe, but I hope this doesn't become this series version of It's Too Dark, right? Like where it's just like there's something production wise, I'm just like, I don't know what's going on.
Right. If I have to squint to hear, like, y'all better give me some flipping captions. I mean, I don't know why. Like Bong Joon-ho, the director of Parasite, he told you, subtitles. Like, you should turn them shits on. Like, you can see a lot of good work. And I think that could go, even if people are speaking English, y'all could turn that stuff on.
Quote unquote English, yeah.
But they know, like, even like in America, like, right, like there's different dialects across the country of like how we speak English. So like, of course, it's gonna be varied whenever you're like filming a TV show that has cast members from all over different places that speak English in different languages. So it's going to be hard. So, and it's also it's ableist to not have those things available for people to see like what's being said, right? And it is. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I can't understand what half of America be saying. I damn sure don't understand what someone in the Seven Realms is fucking saying. So that's that. Anything else you guys wanted to mention about stuff you dislike that we did not mention? I think we got all of that.
I think we basically got on all of it, but honorable mention for those old biddies at that hunting party that were trying to like get Rhaenyra's ass up. Like, oh, your uncle's doing this. Do you talk to him? No, bitch. She don't talk to him. Duh. Like,
don't you see her off fighting? Do you see her off fighting the sea crabs? No, you don't.
You don't.
Like, if she was, then you would know exactly what she be doing. Y'all be knowing her business. We all know y'all know her business. That's the only business y'all have. They don't have Twitter. They don't have TikTok. They don't have any of the socials. So what do they do all day? Being in each other's business. Y'all know where she be.
You knew exactly where she be.
It was the auntie coalition down there. They was not giving. Oh, they were giving it up. But
the grandma coalition, because they ain't aunties. Okay, they
And that's the court that Allison is holding court with, is all them old ladies. Like you saw her talking, like that's who she holds court with. And so I'm honestly, truly, I understand that y'all have hope for the girl. I know what's going to happen later. So I'm just.
She said you guys are naive, and that's the word I was looking for earlier when I was talking about Viserys. Naive.
I'm just looking with the lens of like, I'm just like looking at those of like they really are trying to get y'all to like certain people and dislike certain people, and there's reasons why you should dislike some of these people and you should like some of these people, and it's
I
really
agree.
interesting to see
Yeah.
how they're twisting the screws to kind of push the audience a certain way. Because I'm like,
Absolutely.
ooh,
Yeah.
But all right,
Yeah.
the thing that I was
Yeah.
talking about the just one thought was that
Yeah.
the way that Viserys is making his own problems, the whole realm is making its own problems
Oh
because
yeah.
Damon would not be a problem. The whole power struggle with Rhaenyra would be a problem. Everything would not be a problem if they would have just made Rhaenys the queen.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. And all the hand wringing about, oh, you will defeat the laws of the gods and men if you put a woman in power. And it's just like, did you guys ever think about what would happen if we did
Has
it
it
and
ever
how things would
happened?
change?
What is your evidence for
Right.
that? When have you ever done it? And therefore, how have you had evidence for it?
So why not
Because
be the
you've never
first?
done it.
But you know what? That
Right.
takes foresight, that takes wisdom, and that also takes courage, which a lot of these men, including Viserys, are lacking deeply.
I don't even think it's
Yeah.
that. I think it takes getting out of your own way and like the idea that like it's a zero-sum game. Like if someone else has power, then you don't have power. Like no, let's do abundance. Like if we take care of the people who are the least valued in society, then everybody will be taken care of because we have cleared the way for everyone to have what they need. So what's the
Yeah.
problem?
Well,
Right.
the problem is people in power don't care about that, right?
Yeah.
Like the whole point is to remain in power. It's not about being equitable. It's about how do I maintain my power? How do I give the illusion of happiness or just being okay while still maintaining the status quo, i.e. white toxicity, stuff like that. But anyway, that's another story. Let's go into the Chaos is Coming segment where we just talk about what we think is coming, the foreshadowing and all that stuff for the next few episodes. Go ahead. Whoever wrote this first, I want you guys to talk about that.
I read about it because again, patriarchy is my jam. This episode highlights the many ways that the old guard, but particularly King Viserys, is growing old, whereas the new guard is fresh and it's coming into their own. I was actually surprised, and I mentioned this earlier, that he did not die by the end of the episode. There were so many clues that this man is not okay. It brought back a joke that I saw from Sinbad a while back about like how like he and his wife had separated for a second and he was dating younger women. And after dating younger women for a minute, he was like, no, I gotta go back up to my wife because these young women don't know what to do if I start having symptoms of a heart attack, but she knows, she passed me my pills, she got it all together, she knows what needs to be done.
Wow.
And I feel like that's what King Viserys needs. Like he needs his old wife who knew what the signs of like him falling apart looked like and what like was needed to make him be healthy. Because this man is falling apart so fast in just 3 years' time. And
she was his glue.
Really,
she was the glue for their own
her entire family.
Immediate family. He said it too. He was like, she was the one that made him into a man. She was the one that she was really his counsel at the end of the day. Like that's who he really listened to, and that's who gave him some sense. This man ain't got no common sense especially without his wife.
And it made it even clearer whenever he was talking to his younger wife, Allison, like about how like when he first met her, she was like the lady of the veil, and like she had that governing experience. She did know her people. She would whatever. And so I could see that being a lot of the wisdom that he probably had the first few years of him being king was from her talking to her and having counsel from her. And so I just think that there's a lot that we're seeing it from not only that perspective, but also the fact that like you see not only him, but also Otto Hightower and all the men from the council who are these older men who are trying their best to maintain power the way it is. And then they're like headbutting directly with the younger people, including Allison, who are like, you actually need to think about this differently. You actually are not going about this the right way. Like, how can we better do this? And so I think that going forward, we're going to keep seeing this be consistent, like between the different like age groups, but also across different people who have like contradicting wants and needs, and how that's going to come across in like future goals versus like immediate household power struggles.
Gotcha. I feel like this is yours, Chica. Damon finna start.
Right. Okay. Damon is gonna come for that ass. That's what the chaos is Damon now. Because now that he got Krabby Patty's entrails out and he been killing all of these people, he's got a taste for blood. And he is coming for Viserys. Like, it's not going to be, some mild-mannered, like, oh, I still love you type bullshit. Like, maybe for Rhaenyra, because it's not like she was really gunning at her uncle like that. But I feel like Daemon is going to start fighting. He's not going to stay quiet the way he was when he was banished. Yeah, and at the same time, now that we've also seen Laenor, Corlys' son, ride that dragon, he also has a sense for power. And we heard Lionel Strong, I finally know this man's name, the guy who's like sort of Robert Baratheon adjacent in the House of Dragon series. When he went over to Viserys, he said, I do have something to say to you. And Viserys like, oh, you gonna talk to me about your son, which I actually have something to say about that for Easter eggs. But you want to talk about your son, right? The greatest knight. You want my daughter to marry your son. He's like, actually, no. I'm saying you should actually have her marry the black kid because he got money.
Once again, you ain't listening to me the first time. So what about this?
What about this? What about now? And so, especially since Laena's got war experience and doing all this.
Yeah,
he's a competitor.
He got real shit going for him. And that brings up the another chaos that's coming point. Like, who is Rhaenyra gonna choose? What do you guys think? Is she gonna choose, as you put, his mop head son, Laenor? Who she? Them wigs, child. Goddamn! Oh my god!
Oh my gosh! They don't care about him. How you gonna have his daddy have the best wig? You can't at least give him like a good. His hair really looked like a mop. Besides his uncle. Okay, they don't give a shit about him.
It's a mess.
I feel like the older actor must have like more senior leadership or something, like in the thing where he was like, he came back to the casting, he's like, this ain't gonna do. Keep bringing them until I say yes. Keep bringing me the wig. Keep bringing them. Keep bringing them.
There's nobody there to help for whatever reason. The one chaos point that I wanted to mention is as we're gonna see soon. I think they said maybe episode 5. The future versions of the characters, a lot of the characters, where there's like maybe 5 characters that are going to be aged up because it's going to be a big jump in time. And number one, I'm sad about that because I really like this actress that playing Rhaenyra, like Millie. She put her foot in it, and I personally would love to have knowing that she's going to be technically departing soon, I would love to have seen or know that more episodes were coming for her, because if it is episode 5, there's only 2 more episodes of her, and she just like how we got to see Arya grow up and become a badass and go through all her trials and tribulations. I would love to have been able to know that I've seen more of that because Millie's doing the thing. That being said, one thing that's not changing during the age up is them goddamn wigs, because especially Lena, from a still that I saw, it looks like it's the same wig that they had on that little baby that they just plopped on the older actress's head. What the fuck?
They know better. They know, like, you know what? At this point, I just feel like they like being eaten up I just think they like it. I think they enjoy the fact that they get black engagement because the black community is tired of these tired wigs.
Right. Them thrones became them wigs.
I don't know, guys. All right, let's round out this review with any Easter eggs inspiration or even music that may have struck you. We talked about the symbolism of the white stag already. I have a question, and maybe either of you can answer, but particularly to Portia. That tree in the Godswood, is that the same motherfucking tree that Bran and them niggas was laying up under?
Bran coming?
That tree had a face on it. And Now listen, because in the first Game of Thrones series, that was the tree that was, in the intro where the clockwork and all that other stuff happened. You see that goddamn tree with the face on it and the leaves coming down, and all that autumn, winter, spring, fall, She by Sheree, all that. Is this the same tree?
So all trees that are like worshiping the like faceless god, whatever, the heart trees, whatever, those are the trees of the north, the Northmen. Okay. And they are all over the kingdom. They were by the original, but whenever they say the titles of the Targaryens, King of the Andals, King of the blah blah blah.
Yeah.
The first men, They are the descendants of the first men the Starks are. So those heart trees were the first men that came over to Westeros and like colonized Westeros,
Mm.
right? So they're all over Westeros because those were the original people's first, well, the first men, because they were the children of the forest who were indigenous to the land, and then the first men came over and colonized it, right? So whatever, the trees are everywhere because of them. They planted them.
Okay.
They've been there for centuries. That's why you find them all everywhere from down where the high towers are to all the way up to the north. But they're more numerous in the north because they still worship them.
Got it.
The other kingdoms kind of just keep them because some people are traditional and they do. Some people still practice it. Not a lot of them that are not Northerners, but some people do, so they keep them. That's why King's Landing has one. So it's not the same tree.
That tree, but it's a tree.
It's what. So the fact of the matter is, when Bran comes later, and also when the many-eyed raven was part of the system, they could see all the memories for anything that took place in front of a tree. That is a memory stored within those trees networks memory. So in the many-eyed raven and Bran come, they can see all these things.
I know where you're going with this.
He gonna come, ain't he? He gonna come, Bran coming.
They see all these things.
Wait,
and one of the things
we're gonna see Bran in his Professor X.
So
wheelchair?
One of the things that we saw, I don't know if y'all remember this in the last I think it was the last season of Game of Thrones. We see Rhaegar Targaryen, and he marries Lyanna Stark, right? And that's how Jon gets born, because they did their vows in front of a heart tree. So we're gonna see a lot of stuff. I don't know if they're gonna give us. I don't know what they're gonna give us when it comes to predictions and like people who can see it all. But anybody who can tap into that network, like the Many-Eyed Raven and Bran can see everything that happened. And if there's a spy around who knows how to tap into those trees, they gonna know all the business, because anything that happens in front of those trees gets stored and they can find it.
Wow. See, this is why you on this show. I did not know that.
Yes. I want Bran to come so bad. I just want his face to just pop out the tree like, listen, bitch, they finna kill you. Like,
I feel like, do we really want another Hodor moment? Because that was traumatizing for me.
Yeah, I don't want to know the Hodor. They didn't have to do that to me. And it's like, that was fucked up. So
that really got me.
Hodor.
What's another Easter egg or inspirations or anything that you guys wanted to mention? Tense music. Rhaenyra, Lionel's son? What's this about?
Right. Okay. So I don't know nothing about nothing. I'm not the Portia of this group. Okay. Portia's the Portia of this group. But I heard from, a feather, because birds of a feather flock together. So I heard from a feather, right, that actually, according to the books, Lionel Strongson, that's Robert Baratheon adjacent, his eldest son, he used to knock boots with Rhaenyra. So I'm just like,
what?
Is right. So I'm like, is he going to be introduced? Because they showed his brother that got the messed up leg, right? So I'm like, okay, I don't think it's him. So is he going to come? And then if that happens, does that mean that Rhaenyra is bisexual? Because low key,
she definitely is.
I thought she was full on lesbian because she wanted to be with Alicent. And when Viserys was talking to her about marriage and everything, and she's like, you just had to marry her. You took whatever from me. And I was like, oh, she's about to tell him. She's going to tell him.
She's about to come out to him, right?
The rainbow is coming. Like, no, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen. So I wonder if Lionel's oldest son is going to come into the mix. Is that going to be her safe bet? Or is she going to go with Laenor? Or, like, I don't know who she going to choose. But that's what I was thinking about.
She's going to make a strategic decision. Like, I don't think she's going with Sir Cole or anything like that. That's not a strategic decision. I mean, that could be a friend, but like,
that's her best friend,
and that's somebody who could trust to protect you. But
yeah, that's her new best friend. Okay, because Alicent has been replaced. Alicent, that's just done. This girl has her children and them old biddies to keep her company now.
Facts, and she's pregnant with another. So, okay. Is there anything else that we missed that you guys wanted to mention, or did you get it all of the energy out about episode 3 again, which is my favorite episode?
Yeah.
As far as right now.
The thing I would like to mention is that 2 Targaryens had fire and blood in this episode, right?
Yes.
We have Daemon with the blood, and we also have Rhaenyra with the blood. We also have plenty of fire from Dragonfire. to just like a regular campfire that they were sitting around for the boar.
Right.
So it's interesting how much we see the Targaryen family motto just continuing to be part
Every
of their
episode.
actual lives
Yeah.
and how they actually maneuver the world.
Are we ever going to see a demonstration of them being resistant to fire or impervious to fire? Like, are we going to see some Daenerys Targaryen type shit where, you know, she's just chilling in you know, 1,000-degree flames and it's okay? Like, are we going to get any of that?
Shit, I thought it was gonna happen when
That's what I
Damon
thought.
was up in the thing. I was like, the dragon
I thought
going boom,
Viserys
boom,
drunk
boom.
ass was gonna fall in the bonfire and he's gonna be like, "Well, I'm good." You know, I thought something was gonna happen.
I might be naked now because my clothes is set, but I'm fine and I'm gonna kick that Krabby Patty man. I thought it was gonna happen. It didn't though.
I don't know, but it would be cool to see.
Maybe Dragonfire would cure him of the pinky falling off and the hole in his back. You know.
I don't know. All right, y'all. We have said everything we can about this episode. Thank you, everybody, for listening to Castle Black. Again, the blackest Game of Thrones podcast in all of the realms. If you love what you heard, I know you did, because you're still here listening to me. That means we need you to do a couple of things for us. Please support this show and support For All Nerds, which produces and delivers fine podcasts such as Castle Black. You can do a few things to support us. Go to patreon.com/forallnerds. Every tier is a great tier. You get special privileges for being a part of the Patreon fan fam, including some discounts in some special places and free shit that we give y'all all the time. Whenever we got it, y'all got it. So please make sure you are on there. That is the best way to support the show and support our staff and everybody and the team, really, that everyone who works so hard for All Nerds. In addition, you can hit up our TeePublic page, tpublic.com/stores/forallnerds, where you can get one of many amazing designs. I'm wearing the For All Nerds logo design right now. The other day, Chica was wearing the Views from the 616 design. That is our MCU-focused podcast. And there are a bunch more there. You can get it on T-shirts, hoodies, masks, cups, books, notebooks, whatever, totes. Coasters, anything you could think of, you can get those designs on there. So hit that up, please. Also, make sure you're following us on your favorite podcast platform. Follow For All Nerds in order to listen to Castle Black. Be sure to be following us individually, too, on the socials. I'm at Tatiana King. Portia, what is your at? At Portia. Is it still Portia?
Portia, yes.
Spell that, please.
PORSHEUH. Portia.
All right. And then, Chica, how can people follow you?
Y'all can follow me at Chica Supreme. It's actually on the screen. So if you watching on YouTube, correct spelling and everything. Chica Supreme, that is with a K and not 2 C's, guys. Please don't. That is not me.
That is not her. Make sure you are following Castle Black, the podcast. So it's Castle Black Pod on Twitters. And as mentioned before, follow For All Nerds, as well as Views from 616 if you want some of the MCU action. As Chica said, make sure you are watching our beautiful selves on the YouTube. Just search for All Nerds TV. Even if you just go to Google and type in For All Nerds, one word, For All Nerds TV, you'll get to the YouTube page. Make sure you follow us on Twitch, twitch.tv/forallnerds. And we appreciate you. We love you. And we will see you soon for episode 4 of House of Dragon. I almost said a Game of Thrones. I guess it is Game of Thrones.
House of Dragoons. Wait. House of Dragoons. They roast them bitches now.
Dragoon.
House of Dragoons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unleash the dragon.